So I'm here actually to represent not just a single site, but the Smithsonian Marine Science Network, which is actually a series of 4 locations, really 5 sites. One in the Chesapeake, Cirque, one in the Indian River Lagoon near Fort Pierce, one in Belize, the Mesoamerican Barrier Reef, and then there's kind of 4 stations both on the western Atlantic and also on the eastern Pacific in Panama. And this network was established in 1998, but the sites have been there from, Stry's been there since 1923, and the youngest would be Caribou, which has been there since 1972. Basically, the Marine Science Network was set up to understand biodiversity and ecosystem dynamics with the purpose of sustaining coastal processes and productivity, and to improve and increase our knowledge and improve appreciation. It's basically, they've been templates for Smithsonian researchers and visitors to do work at these sites. So just to give you a sense of the marine facilities, at least, I'm not going to, Stry obviously has a huge terrestrial presence as well with SIGEO and Center for Tropical Forest Studies. But here are the 4 stations or 4 localities at Fort Pierce, and there's also the linkages to the web pages and approximate number of permanent staff, and the number of visitors per year ranges from, I think Caribou has only 4 staff, up to Stry has about 40 permanent staff with over almost 1,000 visitors per year. As I mentioned, as far as facilities go, they have everything that you would expect from a standard marine facility: boats, scopes, diving capabilities, etc. that you would get, plus a research vessel down in Panama. But with the understanding at the Smithsonian that these were kind of a disjointed network, we have a new campaign kicked off that's called the SI Marine Geo, Marine Global Earth Observatories, where we're trying to get them all under one rubric or one umbrella. We're trying to build a consistency across each of these stations with the purpose to provide the science to improve ocean's health and transform our understanding. So we want to basically set up these networks to compare across latitude and longitudinal domains. And towards that effort, these are the core activities that will be going on at each of the stations. You know, pretty standard stuff that you'd expect. Establish habitat maps to sea level elevation stations, sensor arrays to track physical and chemical changes, etc. Conduct quantitative standardized surveys, species composition, community structure, food web structure, carbon and energy budgets, and chemical processes. We'll be measuring parasites, pathogens, and non-natives diversity. And then also, in addition to just the general monitoring, and we'll also be launching short-term and long-term experiments to measure effects of each of those things on each of the systems. Again, there's been a litany of stuff going on at each of these stations, and the goal is to try and get similar things operating. And in order to do that, as far as the network, and it's very similar to the GOES, obviously there wasn't a lot of genetics explicitly in that, but obviously it'll partner very well with what the GOES want to do. Centralize the data management. One of the big goals is to go out and capture all the legacy information, the time series analysis, and centralize that, make that publicly available. We'll be doing the same things in the process with the genetic analysis and collections management of those resources. And we also, and that of course will leverage our existing museum capacities and infrastructures that we've been doing for centuries at this point. And then also the key is to coordinate the research activities across those sites. So it's a good time to be jumping in with the GOES network to help with the standardization and guidance on that. We also have established a Marine Geo Fellowship program, so we'll be training postgrads, or actually postdocs will come in with the explicit research programs that have to be working across to implement questions across, at least right now, the latitudinal gradients. And really that's all I'm going to say about the Marine Science Network. So.